Good morning, Antti. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning.
So perhaps if we could just start with a brief introduction to who you are and where you fit into the company.
All right, so I'm Antti Salminen. I'm Executive Vice President for Supply Chain Management in Kemira, which is a roughly 2 billion global water chemistry company.
And of course you were speaking yesterday, dealing with topics around risk. Perhaps if you could tell us a little bit more about what you were speaking about.
Yeah, I was covering the kind of a little bit new angle to look at risk management in supply chain in the volatile times economic environment that we are now facing, and really kind of trying to find new ways to look at how to manage risk in the supply chain.
So perhaps what were some of those new findings?
Yeah, so the basic idea there is that maybe a little bit contradictory to what would be kind of the obvious conclusion. When the volatility in the business environment grows, actually the predictability of your risk portfolio increases, because the kind of proportional amount that of your risk that is associated to completely random phenomena like earthquakes or strikes at the ports or whatever, that kind of the proportion of that diminishes, and you have more manageable risks there. And what that then means in practice is that I think we need to look more in terms of a kind of a scenario building and a kind of a strategy type of work in terms of risk management, rather than building very elaborate mitigation actions, what would we do after something happens, but rather building these plans and scenarios, what can we do up front to avoid this risk realizing in the first place.
So how far are you in actually implementing those strategies?
Well, this is something that we're just kind of working on now, so I mean we're in the middle of the process at the moment.
And obviously collaboration has been a big talking point, and working with the other partners around the business to really develop the business through supply chain, not just being a cost center. Yeah. How has this risk circumnavigation strategy been affected?
Well, that's basically then the kind of so we have started this kind of a risk scenario building internally in the supply chain, and the next step naturally is to kind of get more involvement from the stakeholders around us within the company, from the business side, but also to a high degree from outside the company. So if we really want to be successful in building these risk management scenarios, we need to involve our key suppliers, be it the raw material suppliers or be it the logistics service providers. So these guys need to be involved in this work. Otherwise, it's very difficult to actually manage the risk. We can evaluate them without them, but in managing those risks, we need their support. We need to work together in the whole supply chain there.
And now that we've got to this stage with supply chain, that we're working more collaboratively with the rest of the business, how has that affected your metrics? What kind of things are you looking at beyond just the pure cost?
Well, I mean, of course, I mean, there's all the natural metrics and KPIs that you use to track the supply chain, but maybe one angle from this more collaborative environment is that, I mean, part of my supply chain is the sourcing organization, raw material sourcing, and typically sourcing is measured in terms of savings that the sourcing can contribute to the company. But we're added to the sourcing manager also a metric on the business gross margin. So of course they cannot directly affect totality of that because the price levels are set by the sales part of the organization, but that brings them so much closer to the actual business, and they need to understand that it's not only the savings that they report on the paper, but it's really the true gross margin impact that they can do for the company.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time out to talk to us. If people do want to find out more about Kemira, where can they go?
They can go to our webpage, kemira.com.
Fantastic, thank you very much.
Thank you.